Darlington City Council, the agenda for the regular city council meeting. Today is Tuesday, October the 5th, 2021, 6:30. This is Councilman Reed, if you'll please prepare.
Almighty God, as we gather here today for this meeting, we ask that you be in our midst. Help us to make the decisions that will be pleasing in your sight. Help us to be steadfast in doing your will. And in turn, it will be for the betterment of the citizens of Darlington. We thank you, dear Lord, for the blessings you have bestowed on our city as we see the adversities and tragedies in other areas. We humbly thank you and ask your continued blessings on our great city. This we ask in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Stand for pledge, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm sorry, I could have got that for you.
Do I have a motion for approval of minutes of the regular city council meeting of September the 7th, 2021?
I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes of the regular city council meeting of September 7, 2021.
Second.
Thanks. Gardner. Sayers. And I. Very good. Everybody good? Do I have a motion for approval of, well, before we do the agenda tonight, I need to make a motion to agenda the meeting to add first reading of the City of Darlington's ordinance, chapter 10 and 2, alcoholic beverages. Discussion.
We're gonna add that where?
We'll add that under new business,
G,
as,
H,
under
before.
H, for H. Do I have a motion to approve the amended agenda for tonight?
I'll motion to approve the amended agenda to add H alcoholic beverage ordinance.
Second.
Mr. Reynolds?
Yes.
Ms. Backus? Mr. Milling? Mr. Sayers? Very good, the motion is carried, thank you. All right, report of standing committees, the Darlington Downtown Revitalization Association, Mrs. Watt.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, and also thank you to ATG who set us up with some new microphones. So everybody should be able to hear us online and on the video. Just need to speak into them as close as you can without touching them. Just a little housekeeping note. The DRA, next week, we will head to the Track Too Tough to Tame with Taste of Darlington on Thursday, October 14th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the infield garage of Darlington Raceway. Businesses, civic groups, and others interested in promoting their cause will share their cooking skills. Come hungry. We will have a wide variety of meats, desserts, and more. This is an adults-only event, aged 21 and older only, please. So get a sitter and enjoy a great night at the track. Tickets are $30 in advance and $35 at the gates. Thank you to the DRA's partnership with the Darlington Recreation. Scare on the Square will also return this year, Thursday, October 28th, from 4:30 to 6:30 downtown, to provide a safe environment for trick-or-treating and an opportunity for families to visit our local shops. Businesses that are not located on the square can register and set up a table to distribute candy and other items. they just need to contact my office. We have had a question from several folks in the community about trick-or-treating, if the city was going to have trick-or-treating on the 31st. I was just gonna bring that to you to ask that question, in addition to this. Because whenever we publicize the Scare on the Square, people always ask us, are they doing trick-or-treating on the 31st, which this year is a Sunday, or are they doing it on Saturday, or are they not doing it at all? So, I don't know if y'all have made that determination.
I wouldn't see why we would do both. I mean,
I prefer to do it on Saturday simply because Sunday is a religious holiday and trick or treating is not necessarily the same.
You all just let me know and I'll get it out, the word out there of what times. I think typically we've done 6 to 8 on October 31st previously. But I don't know if that's what you want to stick with or not.
Have we ever done it not on Halloween in this case? We have in the past.
We just need to let people know what day it is to expect costume children knocking at their door.
I mean, I personally prefer the Saturday versus the Sunday, but I could be in the minority on that. Does it mess up anything if you do it that way?
okay. I'm just kind of, I'm not in a dilemma, but I simply thought I was scared or whatever our Halloween activity, it was coincided that we didn't do it twice. That the city, or what are you asking, if the city is
Yeah, I'm
condoning
asking
that or
Yes.
condoning people going out, I mean, even in the community, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's
Is that what
I
you're?
get that question when I talk to folks about the Scare on the Square, and I can't make that determination. That's for y'all to decide whether or not trick or treating in the neighborhoods and not just at the one event is what y'all want to do.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna be able to regulate it. I mean, if somebody
Right,
comes in
yeah.
and on the 31st and knock on somebody's door,
We have never, yeah.
officers, y'all ain't gonna stop them. So,
But typically, the cities will announce when they,
Yeah.
expect, so people will know when to have candy or whatnot, or turn off their porch light if they don't want to participate.
Well, didn't we do both last year?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
The year
did it,
before.
but all we
Yeah.
I
did
mean,
was.
year before last.
Years past.
Well, I don't understand.
Oh, I was just asking if you wanted me to publicize it as Saturday or Sunday, if you wanted to do
Well,
it.
if we're
It's
talking
just
about
the
doing
31st.
Scare on the Square on a Saturday from 6 to 8.
No,
We're doing
Scare on the
it.
Square is the Thursday before Halloween.
So we're trying to figure out, well, I think we should do it on Saturday and let them do it.
I
Trick or
mean,
treat, I don't understand why not.
I wasn't suggesting not to.
No,
I just
no.
was asking if it was gonna be Saturday or Sunday.
I think
Why not?
most folks, they're gonna attend all of these activities, and different groups will be having it, maybe Saturday, but, typically, October 31st is when it is, and kids do go out. I think what you're asking is that what the city is saying, if you're going out that day, that we put a time as to when that should be done.
And Saturday or Sunday, that's the question.
Yeah, but I think Saturday is better. I don't think Sunday's a good idea.
No, but most of them not gonna do it on Sunday, so I mean, I would think that Saturday would be,
we'll make a suggestion that Saturday, 6 to 8.
Saturday from 6 to 8 will be trick or treating in the city. I will let folks know when I am publicizing Scare on the Square. Thank you all so much for your support of our program that has allowed us to hold the Saturdays on the Square concert series. We had, our latest event was this past Saturday, and in speaking with some folks who were there, that were new residents of the city, they had just bought a house in town, and they just expressed that everybody there and the events like that and really made them feel like they were home. And you can't buy marketing like that. So I just wanted to share that with you. Our next concert will be featuring the Saxy Keys, which is a jazz and soul band. Saturday, November 6th, from 7 to 10 p.m. downtown. And then on December 31st, Level 10 Band and Show will be back in town to ring in the new year. And we're working on some special touches, so if there's any businesses that want to get involved, just call my office, and I can talk with y'all about that.
All right, level 10, I'm thinking.
Yes, we had such a good turnout with Level 10. I said, you
That's
guys
gonna be a
gotta be
blast.
available December 31st.
You gotta have a little fireworks too, ain't
And no fireworks, no, no fireworks.
What?
The DDRA is going to conclude our monthly member breakfast this month at 8 a.m. Thursday, October 28th at Taki's Diner. The meals are at no charge for members and a small $5 fee towards the meal for all others. And this event allows our businesses to network and connect with each other and share information and figure out ways that they can work together and partner and strengthen our local economy. In the meantime, we are also continuing to promote Darlington and its businesses on social media and through our news alert system each week. You can sign up at buildupdarlington.org/sign up, and the alerts each week will go straight to your phone if you enter your cell phone, or it will go to an email that you punch in. And so every time there's an alert, we also post some city-related weather type things on there when we have those sorts of initiatives. DDRA membership is open to businesses, individuals, civic groups, and churches, and they can just give my office a call, and we will feature their news, their employee recognition, sales, new products, and hours on our website and news alert. Also in your packet, it's October, it's fall festivities are upon us. And there are a packet of information. I'm just going to read them quickly. The 38th Annual South Carolina Sweet Potato Festival is this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That is hosted by the Pilot Club of Darlington, free admission. The Taste of Darlington, as I mentioned earlier, from 7 to 9 p.m. Thursday, October 14th, the track Too Tough to Tame. That is next Thursday. The Williamson Park Committee will have its pig picking in the park Saturday, October 23rd from 6 to 10. Inside Williamson Park, there will be a shuttle, so you can park at PD Healthcare on Cashua Street, and they will take you from there to the park because there's limited parking at the park itself. And that will be funding park improvements and upkeep. And they will actually, they'll have a barbecue pig and food and live music. It's a really fun time, and silent auction. Then Scare on the Square is the following week, 4:30 to 6:30, October 28th. And then November 4th, this is the first Thursday in November, the fire department and police department will have the Taste of Christmas at First Baptist Church. All the funds raised from that event will go towards the toy drive that they do every year for children in need. They get them Christmas presents and that sort of thing. It's $10 a person. Kids under 6 will eat free. And if you need tickets, you can contact the fire department or police department.
What's the time of the Taste of Christmas?
Taste of Christmas is 6 to 8 p.m., November 4th. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is it Greater Darlington Chamber of Commerce?
Hi, I work with the chamber. So just some of our member updates. We have the Darlington Country Club will be having their first annual chili cook-off. You must pre-register, but it is there's a $50 entry fee required per team, and that will be on October 17th at 3 p.m. Dancing with the Stars of Darlington County will be back this year. It will be January 27th at the Marshall Center Theater. If you're interested in volunteering, you can contact them. As far as I know, all of the dancer positions have been filled, but there are other volunteer positions. So a project that we are working on at the chamber is our restaurant crawl, which we are hoping to start in the next couple of weeks. So basically the way that it's going to work, all the restaurants, we've opened it up to all of them, but they can choose to participate by having some sort of discount, and we will have cards made with each restaurant on it that's choosing to participate. Cards are free, and then you can just take the cards into the restaurant and they will give the discount they promised, which you can only go once. So we are also working with Growth Zone. It's a 16-week process. It's a member management software system. So they will be doing our directory, our new directory on our website. You can do member-to-member discounts. Our members will have an app. In the app, you can go and post events and things like that. The chamber office, we do have tickets to the taste for sale at the chamber. Let's see, and then Chianti's Wings and Things, on October 9th, they will be having a small business Saturday with different fall pop-up vendors.
They're having what? Say it again.
It is a small business Saturday. And then Central Baptist Church will be having their fall festival October 31st from 5 to 6:30. And then Covered in Cotton, also on October 9th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., they will be having their fall pop-up event. So the store will be open, but they'll also have door prizes, local pumpkins, and then they'll also be launching some of their new products. Carolina Pines will also be continuing the Lights of Love this year. The tree lighting ceremony will be Sunday, November 21st. However, you can purchase lights for $10 in honor or in memory of a loved one. Restaurant Impossible on Food Network will be in our area soon. So if you know of any restaurants that may be interested in being on Food Network, just tell them that they can apply to be on it by just going to the Food Network website. And then the Darlington County Sheriff's Office and the Darlington Police Department will be sponsoring a free event. It's a women's health fair weekend on October 23rd from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Greenville Post Office. There will be like different panel discussions with healthcare workers, blood pressure checks, COVID-19 vaccines, and door prizes and giveaways. And then A Perfect Start Child Care will also be having a fall festival on Saturday, October 23rd. This is a free event, but there will be raffle proceeds that will be going towards the PD Coalition. And also Darlington Country Club will be having a Halloween carnival on Saturday, October 30th at 1 p.m. Are there any questions?
Yes, can you tell us the times for Chianti's, please?
It's all day,
Okay.
yeah.
Is there a beginning hour?
You said all day?
Yeah, do you know
I think it starts at 11.
11?
Starts at 11?
I think.
Thank you.
I have a request, if it's possible.
Yeah.
You have given us a lot of information tonight. If you are reading from something, if you could prepare that ahead of time and hand it out to us, it would make it a whole lot easier for us to keep up with what's going on and be sure we've got the right dates and the right events and the right location. I know that, DDRA does that for us and hands it out to us, and it helps us keep up with stuff. So if you could do that on behalf of the chamber, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And, public comments, Chief Washington.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, Madam Clerk, ladies and gentlemen of the city of Darlington, good evening. In this current culture and environment, it's very, very rare these days that we hear about the good things that our police officers do throughout the country. Every day, these young men and women, these brave men and women, put their lives on the line to serve and protect the citizens of our communities all over this country. And so tonight, we want to take this opportunity to recognize one of our own police officers, Sergeant Keith Coffin, who not only does Keith go out every day and serve and protect the lives of the children at the Darlington High School, but on this particular occasion, he actually saved one of the young people's lives.
Hallelujah.
On Thursday, September 2nd, right at the end of class change, the principal there at the school witnessed that a student had fallen down on the sidewalk. Once she got to the young lady, she realized that she was choking. And so she immediately called Sergeant Coffin over to the young lady, and he did the Heimlich maneuver to help her dislodge the item that she was choking. She had already passed out and was unconscious. Because of his heroic actions, his quick response, but most importantly, his bravery,
Thank you,
that young lady's life was saved.
Thank you, Lord.
There was also another incident not long after that where another young man actually passed out at the school, and Sergeant Coffin was able to get there and provide medical care to him, to also get him revived and save his life as well. So tonight, it is my honor, my pleasure to just recognize him tonight, thank him for his dedication to this city. Where is he? Is he here? Okay, all right. I'm like, hey, I can do this. So, life-saving award presented. It says Corporal Pete Coffin, but also have been calling you Sergeant Coffin because you've been promoted to Sergeant as well. Because of those incidents confirmed that we were making the right decision to make you a sergeant. Okay. This award is presented to Keith Coffin in recognition of his courageous act of rendering aid in a sudden and unexpected situation which resulted in the preservation of life. This courageous act took place on September 2nd, 2021. Congratulations. He actually thought I had given him a new responsibility coming down to provide security for you all. Mr. Mayor, would you like to come down and do the honors of learn from the best.
Mayor, can I get one?
One more.
And also, just want to recognize that the principal and the assistant principal.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
No, you can't go home.
Try.
Good try. Good news in the city. Good news. Great.
Thank you, guys. All right, new business, 2021 USDA patrol vehicle grant. Chief Washington.
Yes, sir. Last year, or either, I think it may have been earlier this year, we gave you all a proposal for a grant proposal through the United States Department of Agriculture through their Community Facilities Block Grant, and to be able to purchase 3 patrol cars. They were going to award us a $50,000 grant. We are expecting funding from them. There's a few other documents that I've got to get them to get to them so they can go ahead and give us final approval. Tonight, basically what I wanted to do is get approval from City Council to go ahead and give the city manager the authority to move forward on behalf of the city to go ahead and make these purchases, because with us purchasing patrol vehicles and also the upfitting of those vehicles, it's going to go over that $5,000 threshold. And so I wanted you all, if you would, please to go ahead and let's give them permission to go ahead. That way we don't have to come back every time we've got to make a purchase. You guys can just give them blanket authority to go ahead and make those purchases for us. as it relates to the procurement process, all of these vehicles have been purchased through the state purchase contract process, so there's no need to bid them out because the state's already done the bidding.
So do we need to do it now?
Have a motion for approval?
Yeah, I'll motion to approve the 2021 USDA Patrol Vehicle Grant.
And I second.
Mr. Meadows? Mr. Milling? Mrs. Baggins? Seegers, good? Aye, very good, motion carries, thank you.
The second item, the body-worn cameras, we wrote an additional grant to add to the current additional body-worn cameras that we have. The South Carolina Department of Public Safety awarded us $19,044.46. There will be some purchases there that may go over $5,000, and I'd also like to get the authority for the city manager to go ahead and move forward with those purchases as well, so we don't have to come back and move forward with those purchases.
We have a motion to approve the SCDPS body worn camera grant.
So moved. Oh, you got to say it. I make a motion that we approve the city manager's authority to be able to go forward with the SCDPS body worn camera grant.
I'll second that.
Mr. Milling? Mrs. Baggins? Mrs. Gardner? Mr. Seegers, very good, motion's carried, thank you.
That's it, thank you all.
Firefighter protection gear purchase. Chief Kavanaugh.
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm basically here for the same reason. We have budgetary replacement items this year. I have to replace some turnout gear, and it's gonna be over the $5,000 mark. I've also vetted these out for 3 different vendors, and this year we awarded the contractor the one that had the lowest price. I've already bought 2 sets, was under 5, but I need to get the last 3 sets before the price increase in October. So I'm asking permission for the city manager on some of these items to go ahead and blanket approve it, so we don't have to keep coming back here for already budgetary items.
I'll move that we allow the city manager to go over the $5,000 spending budget for the limit for the firefighter protection purchase.
I'll second.
Mr. Seegers?
Does the funding come out of your budget?
Yes, it's line item 385. My budget replaced 5 sets every year. The turnout gear is good for about 8 to 10 years. After that, it starts to deteriorate. And we have, every person has 2 sets. So if we have a square fire and then 5 hours later something else, they're not putting on dirty, nasty gear.
Mr. Milling? Ms. Baggins? Ms. Baggins?
I second.
Okay, that was yours. Mrs. Reed, thank you. Mr. Gardner? Mr. Seegers, thank you, very good, motion's carried.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. All right, item D, the CDBG resolution for sewer improvements. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, Council, on April 13th, you approved, or you did approve a resolution for a CDBG grant totaling $1,028,250. Section 2 needs to be amended per the request of the Department of Commerce. I met with one of their representatives recently, and I'll read the old and I'll read the new. Section 2 that you originally approved said that the city of Darlington shall provide a local match of not less than 10% of the total CDBG cost, and it will be used for construction costs and engineering fees associated with the above noted project. The new section 2 says that the city of Darlington shall provide a local match of not less than 10% of the total costs, plus any overages needed to complete the project. The plus any overages is the difference. And they have asked that you approve this resolution so that our application can continue to go forward.
Is it the 10% of the grant and the full ride on the overages, or is it 10% of the overages?
10% is the normal match,
Yeah.
and then the overages.
Okay, so it's the full ride on any overages
Yes,
that
sir.
might occur.
Yes.
Is there an anticipated number for the overages?
Mr. Shugart, can you?
There is not. They're experiencing anywhere from 10 to 20% more in materials, but they have some contingencies built into the project, and they don't expect any overages right now.
This is just in case.
Yeah,
We
this
don't
is just
expect
in
it,
case.
but
So what was the reason for the change? I
It's
mean,
just-
what,
It's their wordage, the way that it was.
the Department of
it's not
Commerce.
about the materials?
The
No.
Department of Commerce requires it.
Okay. So we were just kinda out of order to start with.
Yeah.
That should have been in there. Okay,
I'll
all right.
motion to approve the CDBG resolution for sewer improvement grant.
Second,
Mr. Nettles? Mr. Mealy? Ms. Dykens? Mr. Baker, Sears? Very good, thank you. Motion carried. Advertising rules and rates for city vehicles. This is Ron.
I have included in your packet that was mailed to you and then printed out a new copy and put it on your desk for tonight that shows proposed rules for advertising on city vehicles. We already have a vendor you've approved to do the actual installation of the graphics and design requirements for a period of 3 years. This would be specifically rules as far as what would we allow and not allow to go on our city vehicles. And I'm just gonna read through it and stop as I need some guidance from y'all. So it says, rules for advertising on city vehicles. Businesses and individuals will coordinate with the city planning department and its design contractors to create advertisements that will be installed for 6 or 12-month periods. Advertisements may indicate the vehicle of their choice. Ads, the first point here I'm going to say is that ads must include the business name or logo, a phone number, and a physical location or mailing address. So you couldn't just have, say, just a logo and not have any business name, not have a phone number for people to get in touch with, or a physical location for people to go to. The second item would be that the advertiser must hold a city business license throughout the term of the advertisement. I think that's pretty fair. They're essentially doing business in the city, but they're trying to get customers out of our city. Number 3, the vehicles available. There are 2 garbage trucks that run 8 days per month, approximately, and those graphics would be 8 foot by 4 foot. The recycling truck running 8 days a month, again, the same size. The street sweeper runs approximately 20 days per month. And the 2 cherry pickers run approximately 20 days a month. And they're larger trucks, so we could fit a larger advertisement on those 10 foot by 4 foot. Number 4, the city reserves the right to deny any advertisement that, in the opinion of staff, may be perceived as discriminating against any ethnic group, race, color, religion, sex, including pregnancy, sexual orientation, or gender identity, national origin, age, or disability. Number 5, payment should be made to the city of Darlington. 50% of the total would be due prior to installation. The remaining 50% would be due within 30 days. There are also smaller advertisements that are vehicle magnets that are available, and they would be 100% due at the time of prior to installation, because they're a much smaller fee. A non-sufficient fund fee of $40 will be charged for each return transaction. Number 6, if vehicles remain out of service for more than 5 working days for that specific vehicle, the business will receive a credit of 1 month towards future advertisement or contract extension. Refunds will not be given.
Question. Does that period include inclement weather?
Yes, up to y'all.
Do you have no control over that? Just asking a question.
We can put that in there as a caveat, although typically even during hurricane season, if there is a storm, we end up running
Well, we hope
Garbage
we
and-
would. But, you know,
that sort of thing, so.
but, you know, it's our job to protect the city and further. Think
So
about that.
question,
You wanna add that in there?
Yes,
okay?
yes, ma'am.
So if a citizen rent that, service, and then decide a month later or 2 months later that because the truck is down or something, and they decide they don't wanna use that service again, so they're gonna lose their money that they paid for that service if they decide they wasn't happy with the service because the trucks are down or something? 'Cause you said they
So
would
what
get a
that
credit for the
means
next
is-
month use.
Right, so if, Sheila Backus Incorporated, let's say, buys, her insurance business or whatever business for a 6-month period, say January of this year to June. Let's say the truck is down the entire month of January. So instead of your ad running till June, it would run until the end of July. You just add on another month, for every time that it's down for more than 5 working days that it normally works. Obviously, if it's being repaired during a time when it normally doesn't run, that's not gonna count against the city because it normally wouldn't be on the street.
Okay, it's fine. I understand that they will too.
I'm not really comfortable with 5 business days turning into a whole extra month of credit.
Seems like a lot of time.
Well, some of the trucks are only run approximately 8 days a month. So when you're figuring something that runs only 8 times in a month, and if it's out 5 of those days, that's half the month.
Why would we just give them the bonus days in the coming month? But that's what council wants, is what we can do.
Well, the number of times it runs won't change either way, so if you're just extending it that extra month, that's just gonna give that time back. I think is what she's saying, is that
Right.
But if it's a garbage truck going 30 days and they're out 5, they get an extra month for free because of 5 days.
But, so would that be maybe applicable to D, E, and F versus A, B, and C?
It would have to be, just how it's written.
But those are the 8-day runs versus D, E, and F, which are 20 days. Is that what you're referring to?
What he's saying is if it's down 5 days, then
If it's down 5 days out
it
of
goes
20.
15 more days, next month they got another whole 20 days for that 5 days.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I'm just making it, if that's a concern, I'm just saying it would be applicable for certain parts of it, not everything. That's my question.
We can change or add whatever wording you would like.
You just take out more than 5 working days and just if the vehicle remain out of service for that specific vehicle, the business will receive a credit. toward
Then it
future
kind of gives you the
advertisements.
vagueness of, is it, well, it was out half a day, it was
Right.
out 1
All
day,
kinds of
is it
things.
out the whole month? So I had to kind of pick a day for us to have some
I get that,
specificity.
but 5 business days out and they get 35, days of advertisement when they pay for 20.
Well, remember, none of these trucks are running 30 days out of a month. They are running 8 days or 20
But
days.
hear me out.
I mean, you could just change it, you could just change the word D, E, and F is, if it's out 10 days or 15 days, then they get a full month.
I guess I'm fine with that.
If it's out 5 days, out 8 days, gonna give them a whole month.
Right, so say 10 out of, I'll
If it's out
adjust
of, if
that.
it's out of service 10 days, 10 working days out of the 20 days, then give them a whole month. Something of that nature. Everybody's
Okay,
fine with that.
we'll adjust that wording and present it to you, as well as add the inclement weather caveat.
And some of these vehicles, the advertising can be really tight. A lot of times, the more stuff you put on there, the less you can actually read it. So section 1C, I don't see any reason why we need to have a physical location or mailing address.
And we can take that out, because
And
these
then-
are proposed rules, so you guys have something to work on.
And then B, I would say phone number or website. Would be my suggestion.
Again, Highway Farm said they wanna put just their insurance logo up there, State Farm, which are, they just put their logo up, they don't necessarily have to put an address, I don't think it'd have to have an address.
I don't either.
Well, I don't know whether it should say must include, but I
Yeah,
think you need to give the citizen who's paying for it, the option of picking
So they just
what they wanna put on their logo,
Yeah,
on
they
their, on the
want-
side that they're paying for.
if they wanna
You
put their
shouldn't say
address.
must, but,
Just like Pepsi, a lot of times all you see is just that, they don't say Pepsi, it's just got their logo, you see it, you know, it says Pepsi.
Yeah,
And it could just be an internet business too. So just to draw the logo.
So you wanna say business name or logo, and then phone number or website?
I don't think all of it needs to stay in, just give them an option of what they wanna put on it. I mean, we shouldn't limit them to what they.
Well, we're certainly
paying
not
for.
limiting, they can have more than that. I just, I've seen ads where people will put stuff like, we buy junk houses. And, they put those signs everywhere, and I'm sure that drives Sheila nuts trying to get them down from some of the places those people put those signs up. But there's no way to find out who that is and that sort of thing, so I'm just, more from the citizen resident's perspective of viewing the advertisement of it.
Must include at least business name. And then that way, if they wanted to add more, of course, there's some things that got so much on a sign that you can't read any of it because you're trying to read all of it, so it'd probably be brief.
Well, that's up to y'all, we can take that entire item out if you like.
I like that idea.
Okay. Continuing on, number 7, changing the advertisement information anytime during the term will incur an additional charge of $750 per side change due at the time of ad approval. So, obviously, for our purposes, having an ad put up there for 12 months is more profit for us, more revenue for the city as far as helping fund those trucks. And every time you change something on that advertisement, there is a charge from the vendor to come out and, put new vinyl and new lettering on it. And so that just reflects that. Number 8, generally speaking, the regulations prohibit statements that promote unlawful activity, statements that are false or untrue, statements that are inconsistent with approved product labels, false or misleading statements that are disparaging of a competitor's product, health-related statements that are false or misleading, and misleading guarantees. Money-back guarantees are not prohibited. Other things to avoid: nude or suggestive figures, campaign materials, local, state, national candidate party, or specific referendums. And then number 10, there are certainly, these are items up for debate here. Should these items be allowed under 8 or 9? Smoking, vaping, alcohol, businesses outside the city, outside the county, outside the state. Those are sort of the touchy subjects of advertising, so.
Yeah, but you begin censoring. To do that, you have to think very carefully and tread very lightly. I mean, I agree with what you're saying, I'm just making sure we're all on the same page with that.
If y'all wanna take
Well-
out smoking, vaping, and alcohol, I don't have any problem with that, but the businesses outside the city, county, and state, if we wanna keep it in the city and county, I think they should be allowed.
Well, I mean.
I was just putting
hope-
options out there for you, of things that I've seen people.
That it should or shouldn't be allowed.
Oh, I don't have any problem with businesses outside the city, county, or state advertising it.
I don't either, but then the only problem that you have, I'd circle it, I would allow them, but then if somebody in Florence County wants to advertise here, then you're saying they have to have a business license, that's what you stated earlier.
Yes, they will have to obtain a business license.
Well, that's right, then.
But I mean, the whole point about this was to raise money, right?
Yeah,
So what
so
difference
we
does it
can
make?
help, yeah.
And they have to get a license if they're not.
If a business doesn't produce business inside the city limits, then they have to buy a business license, what, they just pay a basic fee?
Whatever the
Basic business
minimum fee for that particular rate class would be.
Right.
But assuming they are, depending on the company, their home base may be in Florence, but a roofing company or a concrete company, they are probably doing work in the city, and we may not be catching them on a business license situation as it is, so.
How does this fit in with that new Business License Act that we've got to comply with when businesses are doing business here, but their principal location is somewhere else? Didn't something change on how they can
They
do
just
it?
asked, the state is requiring all municipalities to use the same system, the same
Yeah.
dates,
That's all.
and that sort of thing. That's all that is adjusting.
It's a
Because typically
unified
our
thing.
business license previously ran from January to December. Now it's gonna run as the state requires, from May to April.
Where it's been being Florence, Darlington, Hartsville.
And everybody's
Yeah,
municipality is different.
Everybody's business license dates come up at a different time.
Right, so now everybody's will be due May 1st.
But, I mean, aren't we,
But that doesn't impact this in any way.
but we presently have several businesses that's not in Darlington that have business license to
Many,
do bidding.
many.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see why it would be an issue.
I'm saying, I don't know if you can, I mean, what,
As long as they've got a business license, then I think the issue resolves itself.
Yeah,
but if they're not conducting business in
It just-
Darlington,
They are
If you're
in essence-
advertising, you are conducting business.
Yeah, and they are in essence becoming citizens of the city when they pay a business license.
sounds good to me.
Yeah, if it's a revenue stream, and it doesn't break any rules, I'm all for it.
They got a license. I don't like alcohol and vaping. I really don't like smoking either, but,
And then as you go to the next sheets, that's kind of got the charts, there are 3 different schedules of pricing.
Lisa, I'm sorry, I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry, go ahead.
before going further, so I'm just going back to number 3 again, on the vehicle availability. So because this is based on 8 days or 20 days per month as they run, and we know those are the actual numbers of times they run each month,
Correct.
I'm just trying to think if maybe we should use a percentage versus a specific number. Like if it's down X percentage of the time, then you do what we were talking about and give it in the next month or something.
I don't think so.
I just think that makes it easier across the board so that you don't have to figure out if it's this number for the minimum of trucks that run 8 days a week or this number for the minimum that runs 20. I think it might make it easier for everybody to do that.
What percentage do we want to go with?
Sounds like said 50%.
Did you say 50?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say 50%, but it just, whatever the percentages we agreed on, I mean, I just think that way, say for instance.
So we don't have to spell out the
Correct,
twos.
and if, say, for instance, in 3 months, we were in a position citywide that those numbers of runs for those trucks could change. Okay, we now don't have to go back and reformulate and change all the verbiage, it's the percentages there.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll update that. And then on the next page, I kind of included price schemes. The last page is the price scheme based on us covering 50% of the auto expense. I figured that was a good number to go against, for as far as what we're trying to raise money for here is for, these vehicles to run, keep them on the road. And so the auto expense, for those vehicles, that line item, around $68,000. To get half of that money back, running these prices, it's kind of, I think it's a little bit extreme in terms of the cost. The cost per month for the advertiser, would be $600 or $1,200 a month, and that seems a lot to me, but that's all up to you.
it's not when you're in a billboard sign.
Yeah.
Right, so, and then there are 2 other, kind of sets of proposed prices, that cover significantly less of that fuel cost for us. But it's certainly up to y'all which direction you wanna go. And it may be that we just bring this back another time and think about this.
Personally, I'd like to run some numbers, just to do some math. But I mean, I'm not, if everyone wants to move forward, I'm okay with that, but just to make sure I understand the numbers.
Are y'all renting enough billboards to know those costs?
Yeah, most of the billboards I rent are anywhere from $380 in a very rural area to about $600 a month. And that does not include.
Is it a long-term contract?
Typically 12-month contracts is what I do.
My,
So that doesn't include the creative and the vinyl that goes up initially. So that adds into the cost as well, and they can spread that out or they can do it up front. We just do it up front. But you're talking about another, sometimes $700 to do that. And keep in mind, billboards are stationary. We've got vehicles that are moving around, so the traffic, we'll see those, will be different than traffic passing, a static billboard. So I think it's worth it.
Well, if you'd like me to come up with numbers to cover 100% of that cost, I certainly can.
I mean, I think the three we've got here is pretty much max about as much as you'll possibly get.
Yeah, I agree. Just to circle back around, so
You're limited on, we got limited on how many we can actually do. The person selling this also, I would think the majority of the people that are doing it in Darlington should be doing it to help Darlington as well as helping their business. It's not what they do, what's going back into Darlington and help.
Well, and again, it's recouping some of the costs versus none of the costs.
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole thing. So, I'd rather take 12 or 15% over the top than none. If it's at 20%, we don't get 28%. It's not going to do us any good.
And of course, we're not gonna have any costs if nobody purchases any
Right.
advertising either, so.
So we're deleting section 1. We're gonna put 50% on section 6.
And add something about inclement weather.
Okay. And
On number
back
10,
to us.
you all say not allowed A, B, and C,
that's,
and then allowed D, E, and F.
I think it probably looks better.
You said we are not, okay, good. So you're already including that, A, smoker. D, E, and F is okay.
and then we're gonna hold off on the revenue scheme and get back with next month.
I mean, if you all are okay with that,
I'm fine with that. I like it.
All right, thank you very much.
thank you.
And of course, you can call me or text me if you have any questions that you think of after this meeting.
I'll call you.
All right, let's move on. Boards and commission appointments.
All right, the board of commissioner appointments.
These were sent to you in your packet. I did want everyone to note that Ms. Rhonda Duke Brown has resigned from all her city board positions. Her health has not been doing well. And she's been so helpful to the community, to the beautification board, to the city as a whole. And we're just very grateful that she came and chose Darlington to live and retire in. That I wanted to make sure we recognize.
She's done a wonderful job. She's been very helpful.
Do we need to do something special for Wanda, at least recognize her, give her a view of the city, have some presentation at next council meeting?
I think that would be excellent.
I would recommend that.
Lisa, do you have another one? I don't seem to have that one in mind.
Yeah, I don't either.
No.
The item about Mrs. Brown or
That whole thing right there.
this whole thing?
Oh, it-
This one?
oh, that,
It's
I
on
got it.
Planning report.
It's inside.
It's inside this. Okay, gotcha.
It was mailed out to y'all,
All right, thank you. It was at the very,
or delivered I'm not sure exactly how they get it to you these days. Delivered. The first applicant is Mr. Chip Paul. You saw him last month at the meeting, or last 2 months actually. And he has applied to serve on the Historic Landmark Commission. He certainly has an interest and a passion for historical preservation and restoration, and of course his personal experience renovating old houses would certainly be valuable to the Historical Commission. So staff would recommend that he be appointed to the Historic Landmark Commission.
I move that Mr., how do you pronounce his last name? Paul, be placed on the Historic Landmarks Commission.
I'll second that.
Mr. Milling? Mr. Backus?
It's fine.
Mr. Segers, very good. Okay, motion carries, thank you.
The next application we received this month was Ms. Vivian Jackson. She would like to serve on the beautification board and spent 15 plus years as an educator. She has attended several of the meetings, but I don't know what her personal job is.
I'll motion to approve Vivian Jackson to the beautification board.
And I second.
Mr. Mills?
Aye.
Mr. Milling? Mr. Backus? Mr. Segers? Very good, motion carried, thank you.
And the third person that had shown an interest, Miss Bridget Lawson, she has applied to serve on the Williamson Park Committee, but there are no more seats open. She suggests that she has an interest in gardening in the outdoors, and I might recommend that she be also serve on the beautification board.
Which is fine. Is that something she
I
kind
have
of agreed
left her
to?
some messages, but I have not received anything back today.
Okay, so she doesn't know that we are recommending her for the beautification.
We may
She doesn't know that.
check with her first. I mean, I'm okay with it. Just wait a little.
Yeah, please.
She's not aware yet.
I was hoping she was gonna reply back to one of my messages before this meeting, so I didn't want
Let's
to
just
include
hold
it.
that.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Very good. New business G, pump sanitation and wastewater treatment facility.
Good evening. I came to y'all tonight to ask for purchase to approve purchase of 2 pumps in our wastewater system and our sewage collection system. The first one is used at our wastewater treatment plant to carry disinfectant and to carry D-chlor, which is sulfur dioxide. We take part of our process water and carry our chlorine to the end of the chlorine contact chamber where it disinfects the wastewater before it enters the Black Creek. And then we also inject sulfur dioxide at the other end of our chlorine contact chamber to remove the chlorine before it goes into the Black Creek. And we've had a pump out there now for about 8 years, running 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, and it's finally just worn out. And it was the flight pump, and we got a price for it at $10,000. And we asked for an alternative or equal, and that's our second price here at $64.85. We might ask you to approve that.
$64.85.
Yes, sir.
6485.
This pump, while it's out, we're purchasing water from Darlington County Water and Sewer Authority at a cost of about $2,000 per month. So we need this pump pretty quick.
2 pumps.
That's one. I have another that I want to talk to you about.
Out of curiosity, how long would it take to get the pump?
Yeah, that was one thing that I asked too. We went for, because stuff's so hard to get now, we wanted to make sure that these were on the shelf where we could get them in 30 days or less. So both of these are available anyway.
So you said you wanted to talk to us about a second one.
A second one.
So let's talk about both of them before we vote on the,
Okay, the second pump goes in our collection system. We're at Wood Creek Pump Station. And there it's proprietary, we gotta get something that fits the rails and makes the controls and all that stuff. We got a second supplier for that, Clearwater Solutions, Clearwater Incorporated. And that price is $6,033. I've got some photos of the old pump that was pulled out there, out of that thing, and I've never seen a pump worn out quite like this one did. It wore all the way through what's known as the volute. A pump has an impeller instead of a propeller, and it turns and sucks where it pushes where. And it runs inside of a housing. The housing's called a volute. The volute's got a hole all the way through it. I've never seen one wear out quite like that.
Just gives them more area to suck from, right?
Sir?
I say it gives them more area to suck from.
Yeah. Well, it was actually what it was doing. It was still pumping, but it was pumping and pushing it right out the side. So,
So it wouldn't function.
No.
So what you're asking, in essence, we got two pumps that you want here.
yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Well, that was not there,
okay.
do we have to do the
Price
process?
total. What's the total?
Total on that one is $6,033.
The other one was $6,485.
Yes.
Do we need to approve these separately or can we approve them together?
That's my question too, because it's two different companies, right?
Yes.
So separate.
Separately.
Okay. So
The
we make,
first,
go ahead.
the first one's Clearwater, is that correct, for $6,485?
I think no.
That's the
Clearwater.
6,033.
First one, the second one's Clearwater.
Clearwater, $6,033, and that goes in Wood Creek Pump Station.
What was the first one? What was the name of the first one?
It's a Tsunami is the name of the pump, and it's from Tin Carva,
Yeah.
and it's $6,485.
My motion to approve the Clearwater bid for $6,033.
I'll approve it. Second it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mr. Milling? Mr. Tackett? Mr. Reed? Figures? Mr. Scarry? Motion for the second pump, $6,485.
We do.
Sure.
I'll motion that we approve the purchase of the T-Carvo pump for $6,485.
Second.
Mr. Milling? Mr. Tackett? Mr. Carter? And Mr. Seegers? And I, very good, Mr. Scarry. Thank you. Sugar. All right, the amended item for new business was H, alcoholic beverage, for the city of Darlington ordinance. John, did you want to present this, or
This is just first reading and then we'll
you want to explain it, or?
Yes. In speaking with the police chief recently, and with all of the activities that have been going on with the city, crime and whatnot, he feels that it's important that we have an ordinance that limits the amount of time during an evening that an establishment, a bar, or any type institute like that can sell alcohol. Currently, the state has, depending on when it is, you have to close your business at 1 or 2 a.m. This would only require that you close at 11 from Monday through Saturday nights, 11 p.m.
Is that specific to bars or eateries?
Any eating establishment or bar that serves alcohol for consumption on premises. This does not affect, say, convenience stores.
Oh. So, okay. We will,
That wouldn't affect private clubs either, I would assume. But
That is up to you.
And currently, it's what time, or is there no time?
If, I would say it does include, I would ask to include clubs, because all an establishment would have to do is sell a membership for $1, and they're a private club, and they could circumvent your ordinance.
I got to get a little clearer understanding, okay.
It's 2
What,
a.m.
what are we asking
2
us to
a.m.
do?
We can require, your ordinance can require that it close earlier, you just can't require that it close later, say 3 or 4 a.m.
Right. And this would be what days of the week?
Monday through Saturday,
Through Saturday?
yes, sir, through Saturday night.
So we're asking them
Yeah, I'm trying to,
to stop selling alcohol at 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
That's what you're
11
saying?
o'clock.
What
I
about
don't,
places where you have already paid XYZ for a ticket and alcohol and food are included in that? And you plan to have a band and, you know, you may have people who are, go stay there until 12 o'clock, 12:30, 1 o'clock.
They would be allowed to stay, the establishment would just have to stop selling alcohol.
Well, they've sold it in the ticket. Is it going to be
think that's
stop
right.
selling or stop selling and serving?
Well, that would be serving.
So are they going to stop serving at 11?
Yes, sir.
So, the examples that the chief gave, have these, as the crime and those things that have been happening lately, been bar-related after midnight?
Not specifically. This is an item that he's been watching for a while. We had a in-depth discussion about it, and he feels very firmly about it that we need to have this ordinance.
While I'm sure that you're relaying the information exactly as you discussed it, I think we need to have an in-depth conversation
We
with
do,
you about
and
it.
that's why this is
thank
just
you.
first reading.
That's where I was
Because
going.
I'm not willing to do that with this information.
So,
Is
well,
Chief out?
But it still is at the time, but we don't have the ordinance. I mean, I don't know.
we got the ordinance, we could always do like we did previously, pass the first reading and then augment it over the next month if we wanted to.
And that's
I
what we're
understand.
wanting you to do. We just want to get past first reading and then only tonight.
I just don't see a purpose in,
Not to the businesses.
telling a business that at 11 o'clock. If that's the case, I can just buy 10 beers before 11, or 10 drinks before 11 o'clock.
You could.
It still didn't stop me from drinking between 11 and 2.
It's not, it's the sale of,
You know,
Chief,
so
See, I mean,
that
it
just don't make sense.
we're discussing the alcohol ordinance to cease sales at 11 o'clock p.m.
Well, currently, there's no business in town, actually, as far as businesses that have on-premise alcohol licenses. Right now, none of them stay open past 11 o'clock.
Then why do we need ordinance?
Is the country club not in the city?
Well,
I thought the country
have
club was
events
in the
that
city.
last past 11 o'clock.
the
They
country
do,
club,
and they do have the bar purchase, so it would impact that as well, so,
Does the Elks Club have events that last past 11 o'clock?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Are they in the city? Is it?
Now,
They're in the
we're
county.
county,
Just
but,
outside-
you know,
Just
we're,
outside the city limits.
you know, fraternal.
depending on what you all decide to do with the ordinance, any business that's already established, Elks, Country Club, all you guys got to do is just grandfather them in.
Well, then if we did that, then that won't be fair to the new businesses coming in town, because I wouldn't come. If you telling me I can open a business, but this business over here can stay open to 2 and sell all the alcohol they want. But I can't until I have to close at 11, why would I come? Why would I want to open a business?
Would it work with a permitting process where if there was going to be a special event where alcohol might be a question after 11?
There is a provision in the ordinance for special events.
I just think we need to talk about it a little more, because I'd like to see I mean, most of the incidences that I'm seeing, it wasn't about the alcohol, it was just about territory. If it's about the crime.
Yes.
If it's about, if all this is, it's about the crime, it never was determined that people was drunk or intoxicated. It was in the right mind, it was all other stuff.
Well, they drove off, so how do we know?
Uh-huh.
I said, they drove off, so how do we know?
Well, because of the ones that we're basing this on now, is the one that you apprehended and caught and put up, those who they done got shot, and all these ones that are dead.
So I guess the question is, Chief.
It never
can you
comes
help
out
us
that
understand how
alcohol
we
was
came
involved.
from Not having talked to this, I know you've been watching and whatever, but explain that to us, what is it that's precipitated this and is now making us look at considering this? Can you kind of walk us through it? Because just saying that we want them to do this at 11 o'clock isn't working for me.
That is an issue that would probably be more appropriate to be handled in executive session.
Okay, then we can do that.
Sound good, that's
Do
what
we
I
need to
said,
table this until we have a
Table it.
discussion in executive session?
because that's what I'm asking, I just need to be able
The
to.
request for this evening, it takes 2 readings. And we were just requesting the first reading tonight, just in.
There is the ordinance.
It's
Let's
sitting
see if we
at the desk. Each one of you has a copy.
That's it right there, Mr. Dillon.
This way, up under here.
And over the next 30 days, we can have that discussion to where if it needs to be amended, as you see fit, we can do that.
It's in here, you're saying?
No, ma'am. Look at those, it should be just sitting on your desk, it wasn't in your packet.
As the chief said, right now, you don't have a bar or club that stays open in the middle of your town past 11, 12 o'clock. And
It's still not in mine.
you have one potentially coming into town that's gonna do that. And you don't have problems with crime at this moment from alcohol, we got no problem with crime from other things right now. And then all of a sudden, you got a bar in the middle of your town that's serving alcohol at 2 o'clock in the morning, then you're open to opportunity. I will clearly make my opinion that I don't drink alcohol, and I don't believe in alcohol, so I think there should be no alcohol, but that's my opinion. So, you know where my vote stands, so I'd like for that to be clear, because I stand above in front of my Lord Jesus Christ and Savior, is that alcohol is nothing but crime, causes nothing but crime and vengeance. So, you choose what you wanna do, but that's my vote, and that's where I stand. Okay, and thank you, Chief, for bringing this to attention. You can vote for me next time or not, doesn't matter to me.
So what was the vote?
I'm just stating my opinion, that there shouldn't be no alcohol, and there definitely shouldn't be any alcohol, because if you open a bar in the middle of town, and it's gonna become a club, and they're serving alcohol, beverages after 11, 12 o'clock, my mom always told me nothing happens good after 11, 12 o'clock, so, you know, if you're starting to do that, you just create more havoc.
Right,
And,
so,
you got a chief here that's trying to prevent that havoc, from additional things that are gonna come
So-
on, we've got enough stuff going on.
so right now, right now, in the city of Darlington, we do not have an establishment that would serve alcohol after 11.
Most of there's 2 kinds of licenses. There's the on-premise license, which means they can drink on-premise, and then there's an off-premise license, which is like what convenience stores or Walmart, that they have, it's, you buy and go. Currently, right now, we do have establishments here that do have on-premise beer and alcohol licenses, but none of them stay open past 11:30. Not one of them that I'm aware of.
Well,
Now,
that's what I
again,
was gonna ask, because,
depending on how you all write the ordinance, Councilwoman Reed, you guys can grandfather the folks in that are already in business, and it won't have any effect on them. But what we're trying to do is put something in place for the future, that if we have someone that comes in and wants to come into town and open a lounge or a nightclub, you know, there's some language in an ordinance to at least protect the safety of the citizens, where, you know, we're not saying you can't come into town and do business or run that sort of business, but at 11 o'clock or whatever time you all put in the ordinance, there's no alcohol sales. But that's a decision that you all make as a council. That's your decision. I mean, my job is just to try to do the very best I can to make sure that the city is safe from things that are currently happening and things that I may see in the future that may happen. And so I just make those recommendations to you all as best I can. Ultimately, it's going to be you all's decision, but my conscience is going to be clear that I brought this to you all. So whatever decision y'all make is up to you all. I mean, if you all say they can stay open to 7 o'clock the next morning, that's fine. We will do the very best that we can to enforce, the laws, the city ordinances, the state laws, and whatever federal statutes that may apply. We're going to do the very best that we can. But it'll be unfair to me and my staff if I brought this to you all, and then we have an establishment to open like that, and then there's chaos and confusion all over the city, and then you guys push me out in the middle of the road. I mean, that's unfair.
Oh, Chief.
I mean, I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm just being real.
Okay. Well, Chief,
Yes, ma'am.
here's my concern.
Sure.
I mean, it's not ordinary to have a lounger within the city limits and
Don't
things
make
of
me
that
sorry.
sort. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And if it is, because all I'm hearing right now, my personal feelings, just like the mayor, may be this. But again, as an elected official for the city, I'm looking at, we are all the time with economic development and lounges and clubs and social establishments is one of those areas
Right.
that generates a lot of, you want to say, entertainment. It's just simple as that. However, so in that vein, I would like, that's why I'm saying before I even consider this right here,
Sure.
because this puts a limit as to what this particular business could do.
Right.
I would like to know how you got to this. And if you're saying that this is not the form by which we do, I don't want to vote on nothing without me having the information that I'm asking for.
I got you.
I want to know what it is that got you so passionate about presenting this, to make you feel that.
And that's why I made the recommendation earlier. I'm sorry. Mr.
Okay,
Clark.
so let's
That's why I made
discuss
the
that
recommendation
somewhere.
earlier, that it might be best for us to discuss some of these things in executive session,
Okay.
as opposed to discussing those things out in the open.
Right. Okay,
But
and that's
again,
good for me,
It's you all's decision.
but I don't want to make a,
I can only make a recommendation, but it's you all's decision ultimately.
And what we're doing tonight, you've got to have two readings that have to be at least 30 days apart. We're just asking for first reading tonight, and after discussions, if you decide you either want to amend it, we amend it, or you don't want to go forward with it, we just don't have second reading. Tonight does not force you to pass this in the future if you decide not to do it.
So what's
I
the
just don't
rush
wanna vote
on
on
having the
that
first
tonight.
reading? Why it can't be after we have the executive session to get a clearer
then
understanding?
put it up for the
What's the
reading.
rush on the first reading?
We
What
could
is the
do
push
that.
for it?
That's
We could
what
do that, we could do that this evening.
I would appreciate it more, so I could.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm fine both on it, or I'm fine. I mean, we pass things all the time, first read, and then have killed on the second reading. 11 p.m., I don't know, other communities have like a 2 a.m. on Friday and a 12 a.m. on Saturday, and I don't know if our town is ready to be partying out at 2 a.m., but a midnight on, our days that they're open, I'd be fine with.
Yeah, I would be okay with it.
You wanna change it to midnight, just pass it for one reading, and then we can discuss it in executive session next month? If we wanna
No,
keep it.
I don't see why we can't do a discussion before that.
Commissioner Thomas, Seegers?
Well, we're gonna have to take a session anyway, let's discuss it then.
I mean, you can bring it up tonight, I'll be in executive session.
I'm in favor of going ahead and have the first reading right now.
Mr. Millen? Mr. Millen?
first reading, we'll have to have somebody make a motion and second it. If that goes forward, we will have a vote.
I'd like to make one change. I'd like to change 11 PM till midnight, and I'd like to make a motion to, approve the first reading of the city ordinance for alcohol beverages, chapter 10 and 10.
I'll second that.
Mr. Bennett?
I'll vote in favor of that with the amendments.
Ms. Backus?
I vote no.
Ms. Reed?
I'm no.
Mr. Stevens? Yeah. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. First reading.
And because this is a safety and security issue, we can discuss this in executive session tonight, whenever we review all those other issues.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, any information from the department heads? Any questions? Any council comment?
I have one, Miss Lisa. The dates that we have for the upcoming events for this month, do you mind doing a publicity, thing on Facebook and the other websites to get the word out? We have a lot of great events going on.
Any public comment? Okay. We'll have a motion to go into executive session for discussion of personnel matter, attorney consultation, and American Rescue Plan funding.